Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/audio.
This week on Alien Theorists Theorizing.
So they use the kid's DNA to match with Matt's. And this is where it comes back. The first kind of big red flag is the fact that this baby is not his.
Well, I guess another thing is that guy's standing 15 feet away. No car is soundproof, and a Desert Eagle will be so loud.
Because I was thinking that unlimited payload meant that they were so fast and they were so cheap to make and they could make so many that you could just basically send an unlimited amount of fucking bombs anywhere.
The Las Vegas Cybertruck Bombing.
Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing Case File 345. Fucking car bombs, drones, and Trump Tower. We didn't really.
I thought it was a power hour. I didn't.
Power.
No, we said we're going to big case file on it.
Yeah.
Case file. What's case file worthy?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's some interesting stuff here. Hey, before we get going, this episode, shout out to all the veterans out there. Listen, if you're struggling with your mental health as a veteran, reach out. There's tons of services out there like Wounded Warrior Project, Gary Sinise Foundation, Department of Veteran Affairs. Listen, there's all sorts of online help for you, or just call your buddies. They definitely want to hear from you. Dan's sitting this one out. He's a veteran. He doesn't like talking about veteran stuff. And that's it for the serious stuff. We just wanted to open the show with that. Now, we all know the real reason Dan's not on the show is because there's nothing he can disprove on this one. So he sat it out. He didn't know what he was like. He was looking at he was reading everything, all the ins and outs, and he couldn't figure out anything to poo-poo on. So he's like, you know what? I have to back it out. I'm sitting out on this one. I'm not having any part of this. It's too close to the truth. Too much heat.
Same reason he doesn't want to do the Clinton kill count.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to touch it.
Is there a Clinton Tower? Because if Dan would have been on this episode, he would have been at Clinton Tower blowing up a Ford F-150. So listen, it's been a crazy start of the year. Crazy start of the year.
Insane.
We've had terrorist attacks. We've had political turmoil. We've had Canada Prime Minister resigning.
Canada potentially joining the United States and becoming the 51st state, right?
Yeah, 100%.
We're going to be economically annexed by the United States because we won't be able to buy or sell anything because they're going to shut the door and then we'll have no choice left but to join.
And all this,
the weird thing about that though is probably like 15% of Canadians will be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Get those guns.
Just a little chunk called Alberta. Everybody
get those guns, baby.
So. Let's go.
It's not going to happen, but maybe he'll try. Yeah, it's been fucking.
Dude, I would love an EU style fucking passport where you could just go and work down there in like a way better, easier, where you didn't have to immigrate.
Well, if we can take over their currency, that'd be good.
Well, hey, how about this? We'll be our own country still, be like kind of a territory. So we keep out most of our laws. We'll change a few because there's a few.
The healthcare would be nice. So keep the healthcare.
Keep our stuff. Take the dollar.
Yeah.
Gotta take the dollar.
Like keep the good.
Take the dollar.
Let's take their house prices too. We'll take the house prices.
Whoa,
we'll take.
Whoa, hold on. I'd like to sell my house first.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hold up on that. Let's not get let's not fucking crazy here.
If you take anywhere desirable to live in the States, most of them are on par with ours. It's fucking bad.
I mean,
California.
I wouldn't like to live in California. I'll tell you that much.
No.
What's left of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that maybe at the end. If we got fires going nuts.
And then New Year's Day started off with a fucking literal bang. Tesla truck pulls up to Trump Tower, fucking explodes. Boom. This is right after we had the New Orleans terrorist attack or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. F-150, blew through a crowd of people. How many people ended up dying? Was it
15? I think last time.
It was aggressive. Like it was hundreds injured from what I remember. But
the video was
it was
absolutely
horrific.
insane.
And that one seemed like a legit, just straight up maniac terrorist attack. Really,
absolutely.
Like it was fucking.
The Cybertruck, however, doesn't really fit the bill. I mean, it's weird because it definitely started coming out initially. Like you're like, oh, like both these vehicles were rented from the same rental agency, and everybody's starting to kind of put two and two together. But this is so much different.
Yeah. So
and then you look up the like the rental agencies and like that bit, and you're like, oh, it's just an online stuff. Like,
No, let's talk about that because the guy in question, the guy in the truck, as goes the mainstream, is Matthew Livelsberger. And on the 28th, he rents the truck from Turo peer-to-peer car rental. It's an app, so you can rent it exactly from pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, and then he drives
background too, like at the time, Livelsberger this is an active Green Beret member.
Green Beret, yeah.
Right? Normal guy.
He's been on like real reality TV and shit too. Like
he was with Tim Kennedy in some type of like elite soldier show. There was like a contest.
There was like and he was on there and like so he's
all American guy, like football, all that kind of stuff, like just a normal everyday dude.
And he drives a Cybertruck. He charges it up in Monument, Colorado on December 30th. This is where they claim that he purchased the Desert Eagle. But I don't know. I guess it's like through a credit card. I couldn't. The weird thing about this case, because at first when I heard about this, I was like, oh man, that sucks. Suicide's terrible. I didn't really look into it. But then you kind of look into it, and the mainstream news about it is so vague and weird. There's like, he did this. Next, he did this. Next, no, like, well, how do you know? What do you mean? I need more info.
I mean, I think that distrust comes from now is like what we've learned through social medias and stuff that like government has like used influence, and the White House and different political parties have used influence over the media to be like cut this, like no, don't report this, and then it's like all of a sudden
tight.
Yeah, and then it's all of a sudden it's like you have all this stuff, being super vague and you're not getting a lot of information, where it's like then what everyone relies on is like, like X and other social medias where it's like you get all the information, you get crazy information, and you just kind of have to wade through it of being like, all right, what makes the most sense here? Because like they're making connections. Oh, it's the same app, both electric cars. What are the odds? Like, and it made it sound like it was the same place, the same rent, like it was some sort of like. I read one thing that they were both rented out of Tijuana at one point. And I was like, okay. And then like, as you kind of like wait and let the dust settle, you're like, okay, this is a ride share. Like it's huge app.
They were both active within the military at some point or another as well. It's just kind of interesting. I think the other guy in New Orleans worked for HR or what, but I mean, there are a few similar, but that's pretty much where it ends.
And then it seems like on 31st, he was kind of just driving around for a while. There was like records of like 4 different charging stations, they say.
And he was like messaging people and being like, yo, I rented a Cybertruck. This thing is fucking awesome. I'm having a time. I'm going to go see the Grand Canyon. This thing is a fucking spaceship. Like having a time.
It's a
like
Batmobile.
Nothing. Yeah. I'm Batman. This is a Batmobile. And like I read some stuff that people were like, yeah, see, look at that guy. That's crazy. He was mentally ill. And I was like, dude, I drove a Tesla once and I was like, I'm fucking Bruce Wayne. This is what Bruce Wayne feels like. I was like, it's like driving a spaceship. I was like, it's so cool. I was like, so I didn't think that was a crazy thing for someone to say in describing like the most high-tech vehicle.
The Cybertruck looks like you're driving the fucking Warthog from Halo.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
I think
like
he
it
also
doesn't
mentions it looks like the thing from Halo too. And when
Does
he's
he?
texting his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay. When I've now there's a couple in town I've seen, I'm like, dude, this guy's just driving a fucking Warthog. All you're missing is the 50 cal mounted to the top.
I hated it when they first released the stuff on like Twitter and stuff like that. And then when I see it in person, I'm like, oh, that's kind of sick.
The reason they're sick is because every other truck, every mainstream truck, they all look pretty much the same. They all have like they got the wind tunnel look. They're all like they got their own little flares, but it's the same truck for the most part. And then the Cybertruck comes along. You're like,
well, I mean, but like the Ridgeline and the Sport Track tried to do that too, and those are both two shitty looking trucks.
Talk about a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of. I like the Cybertruck look. I don't like the stainless steel look. There's one that's wrapped in town, and it's like matte black, and it looks
like gunmetal black or something.
It looks like a fucking like a Batmobile. Like it looks.
Awesome.
It looks so sick. I'm cool. Like, that looks cool. Because I find that, I mean, I don't know. There's something about the stainless steel. But anyways, that's
I like the stainless steel.
Personal preference. But the thing's a fucking tank. It is. You're driving around a tank.
So, yeah, the guy, he rents one. Says it's awesome. Driving around for a few days. On January 1st, there's records of like a 5:30 a.m. charge in Flagstaff, Arizona. And then it's first spotted in Las Vegas around 7:30. So goes the narrative. And then it's not long after that where it's parked in front of Trump International.
Yeah, 8:39 a.m. Because he kind of he mills around Las Vegas for a little bit.
Yeah, for like an hour, 2 hours, yeah, something like that.
And then he pulls up to the Trump International Hotel. And from the time the Cybertruck pulls up to the front doors, in 17 seconds later, it explodes.
Yeah.
Like in that 17 seconds, it's reported that he took his own life with the Desert Eagle.
With the Desert Eagle, yeah.
Which was insanely powerful.
Incinerated between his legs, basically.
Incinerated metal. So I guess the explosion is he's got fireworks in there and like some gasoline, and it's a relatively small explosion, right? There's like.
Which, right? And there's reasons for that. Like this is, this is claimed to be a bulletproof vehicle. And you load it with fireworks and gasoline.
Well, there's a bulletproof option. I don't think they're all bulletproof, are they?
Well, it's like, it's touted to be one of those sturdy trucks on the fucking planet.
It's all steel. Yeah.
It's all heavy. Steel, right?
Like if that thing was a fucking anything else, it would have blown shrapnel everywhere, basically.
Exactly, but it didn't. And it especially helped the fact that it was loaded with fucking fireworks and gasoline. And like to mention again that this is an active duty Green Beret member. Like I think this guy would know how to make a fucking bomb if he wanted to.
Well, and if you listen to interviews with people who knew him and people that worked with him, he was like a bomb expert. And they said like some of the people that worked with him claimed that like they're like, this guy had the wherewithal and the knowledge to build a bomb out of a car to level the tower, like knock that whole fucking thing down if he wanted to.
So I think we can all kind of agree the fact that we didn't like this. He wasn't trying to harm anyone but himself potentially in this situation.
So then,
because there's a guy in the video, there's a guy legit standing like he's 5 meters from the truck, just with his luggage, waiting for an Uber or something. He's just chilling. He's just sitting there. I'm sure he got.
I would piss my fucking pants.
I'm sure he got like some serious burns or something, but there's no one died except for
17 people injured. The only person that died is reportedly Matthew Livesberger.
And the official narrative is the fact that he died from a GSW from that Desert Eagle, not the explosion.
Yeah. So in 17 seconds, he parks, shoots himself, and has something timed or delay or something to blow up.
And then the only reason they know it's Matthew Livelsberg is because they find his passport in there. Like his body is completely unrecognizable. It's charred, right? But they find his passport. They find a partly incinerated gun. Now, Zell pointed to the fact that this happened in 17 seconds. Another thing that I find really hard to believe, it's like, this is Desert Eagle is a 50 caliber pistol, is it not?
Yeah.
Yep. It's a
Right?
hand
Huge.
cannon.
So
It's a cannon.
you're going to shoot yourself in the head with a 50 caliber pistol, and it's going to fall nicely between your legs after. Like, if you hold that up to your head and shoot yourself, that thing's going to launch through the fucking window.
Two hands? I don't know.
Maybe two hands.
Actually, I don't know.
To be the devil's advocate, there's going to be an equal or greater force pushing the gun away. So like if you put it underneath your chin and you were holding it with two hands, maybe it ends up in your lap. Maybe because your fingers are through the trigger and stuff. Maybe.
Well, you could have. So yeah, I mean, whatever happened.
Man.
But maybe it bounced. Like you never know. Like who knows? They could have bounced off the seat, off the windshield, off.
Yeah, and a 50 cal is fucking huge. You can look up videos of those things at distance, eviscerating watermelons, like turning watermelons into fucking
Dust.
like absolutely blowing these things apart. So like there would have been not much left of
Upstairs, yeah.
of the upstairs
close.
of the person.
So they
go ahead. How did they determine that the body was officially Matt? Like, did they do anything?
Well,
else?
they found his passport, right?
Yeah.
And then they started looking into DNA, comparing DNA. And as they know, this guy, Matt, had an recent ex-wife, and they shared a child together. So they used the kid's DNA to match with Matt's. And this is where it comes back. The first kind of big red flag is the fact that this baby is not his. Now, the media jumped all over the fact. It's like, well, the guy found out that the kid's not his and got depressed and, killed himself. Right?
Was there evidence of, did they take a 23andMe or
I would imagine they do an actual DNA test on the kid. Like, I would imagine they'd go get a hair sample or cheek swab or something.
But before, is there any like communication with the ex-wife or anything showing that she told him that's not his? Like anything that would make him?
No, they did. Well, they did recently break up. That's all we know. Like around Christmas. That's all we know.
Again, he's texting her being like, "Oh, I rented the truck. It's awesome."
No, I think that was an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, ex-girl. That's right.
Yeah, that was an ex-girlfriend.
That's
not
right.
his ex-wife.
Ex-girlfriend.
So it's kind of like, so they kind of like to paint the narrative. Oh, recently divorced, depressed, found out the kid's not his, take his own life. But I think a lot of the more conspiracy-minded people are like, or it's not fucking him. Right? Like you think about it. You know what I'd be really interested to see? So, like with the Tesla technology, the car, when you go into, the automatic drive mode, is if your head's propped up and your eyes are open, you can use the automated driving system. But if your head dips down and your eyes are closed, it stops.
It'll stop. Yep.
Right? So I'd be interested to see if it would work.
I don't think it does stop in the States.
Well, apparently it does, because I read a big thing on it. And it would be super interesting to see if
I'm pretty sure I've seen people banging in the seat.
Well, this might be exclusive to the Cybertruck, maybe.
Oh,
no,
maybe.
I'm pretty sure. No, Tesla they got sued a bunch of times for people sleeping at the wheel and an accident happening. It probably would have been a worse accident if the driver was driving, but because it just happened, so they had to do like software updates to make to have that.
So
what I'm saying is, I would be very curious to see if you could stick a dead body in that seat with its head propped up, because obviously its eyes are open, and to see if it would work in self-drive mode.
Maybe. I know in Canada, the cars, the full self-drive, we don't have full absolute capabilities enabled in Canada, but it's like 3/4. And it's like, I know when I'm driving the Tesla car and it's on full self-drive, even though it's not, every like 25 seconds or so, it'll ding and have me touch the wheel. Like it'll just have me, I have to literally come up and touch the wheel and for it to keep going. But that's in Canada. We don't have full self-driving capabilities, even if you do have a full self-driving Tesla. Now, the other thing,
I got a question about the DNA still while we're on it.
Okay.
Could you not, if Zell's on the case, right?
Yeah.
So I get his kid's DNA to try and match to the unidentified body DNA, like a piece of flesh or whatever you can get, some blood. Doesn't match. Could you not? Is there no you see all these crime shows, man? The guy licks a has a cigarette at his house or something, they can pull the saliva off that and check and then cross-reference the DNA. There's nothing like that off the corpse. Instead of just the kid, that's the only test they could do to prove that it was him.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Well,
an easy
maybe they
thing with
don't
a
have-
living relative.
Yeah.
Like go to his house and get a hair. Like no, nothing like
He's
that.
a military man. He's probably super clean.
Yeah, but here's
fucking
the
tidy.
But here's
I mean,
the
the
thing.
kid's probably the easiest route. That's probably why. They did
Yeah, it's the first route, but if it doesn't match, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, but, this is the easy. Like this is case closed. Yeah, the kid's not his. He killed himself. We've solved
Sure, I get it.
problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
the
wraps it up nicely because like
it's the easy wrap up.
Yeah.
yeah, you're like okay. So now the second issue I have with this is, again, this information is slowly pulling out. So now we have the official narrative. He shoots himself. Bomb goes off 17 seconds later. Except a few days after that, they release secondary footage of the explosion. And in the secondary footage, you see a different angle of the vehicle. The previous angle is a shot from behind, looking like at the back left of the vehicle at an angle. You can't see anything. Fucking huge explosion, whatever. Now this, case closed. This new angle is fucking close up side of the driver's side window.
Side profile.
You see side profile. So when you go through that video frame by frame, you see the ignition of the bomb. And in that split second, two things, you see it seemingly looks like one, it looks like the person maybe turns their head. And I'm going to say maybe that's just a reflection of the light, reflection of the video. But then in the second frame, as the bomb's going off, you see the full person in the vehicle.
Okay, so here's the first. So I just want to let's play the first one first. So the first one here is what do I got here? I'm sharing my screen, but what did I do with it? Right here. So this is he pulls up. There's a dude just standing there in front of. You see the gold Trump logo there.
He's not far.
He's 15 feet away.
Looks like you have someone cleaning the windows to the door.
Yeah,
you do.
Boom. Yep. So I mean, it blows up, fireworks. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop that one. I'll find because you sent the one in the chat, I believe, right?
Yeah,
I'm about to talk about.
Yeah. So then this one, you see the person from this angle. You see the ignition of the bomb lights up the inside of the truck, so that you can get a view of the side profile of the person who appears to be sitting totally upright.
Yeah, he's not slumped over. His head looks intact. He's bearing his own weight in the seat.
Yes.
Like not conclusive of somebody who blew their head off with a 50 caliber fucking pistol.
Yeah, exactly. With a 50 caliber pistol. Like that's the thing for me as like.
Okay, so here it's a shorter video. It doesn't show the full clip like we got. It's kind of zoomed in. It is blurry, right? And there's a little reflection, but
you can see right there. Like you can see his head, his ear.
Yeah, and some people say he's turning, but like
I mean, it could be the blast from the blast. It's moving his head, right?
Maybe.
But you look at it, his head is upright. You can see it.
It almost looks like, right? This kind of just like mirroring itself here, but it almost looks like there's movement, but it's hard to tell, right?
It could be a light. I'll chalk it up to it could be light. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced there's movement, but what I'm convinced of is like you see the person sitting upright. So in my head, I'm like, wait. The official narrative is that he shot himself with a Desert Eagle, 50 caliber, in the face. So then, if you look up, because I've shot a Desert Eagle 50 cal, the muzzle flash on that thing is insane. It's absolutely insane. If you go look up videos of 50 cals muzzle flashes going off, it's absolutely insane. So the fact that in that video that there's not a brief second where the 50 caliber doesn't light up the driver the same way blows my mind. Because even if you had that gun pressed up against you, again, the second you pull that trigger, you're dead. There's equal force pushing back against that. The recoil is that you're going to see the muzzle flash on that.
That thing would rip your entire face off.
Well, the thing with the video, like the ones I found is it says it's 17 seconds from when he pulls up to when the bomb goes off.
Yeah.
But they all only show 12 seconds before the bomb goes off. That's one thing I just noticed. Like I couldn't find.
Yeah.
There's not like a 5-minute feed of that security cam.
Release that earlier, because if you see a muzzle flash, I mean, that would end a lot of the questions, because people would be like, okay, well, there is a muzzle flash in the vehicle before.
Like obviously that security cam is an ongoing camera. It's probably recording
100%.
Probably records us 7 days at a time before it like records over itself or something. But
so now, why would the FBI or the CIA, whoever's investigating this, not want that additional footage released?
It seems because it's everywhere on all the news channels and on X everywhere. It's 12 seconds, then an explosion, and then you get another 5 seconds after. So it's not like they don't give you a minute clip like showing the car pull up, park. Because, I guess, another thing is that guy's standing 15 feet away. No car is soundproof, and a Desert Eagle would be so loud that if you were standing there,
that's a fucking
that's a
great
way
point.
better point, Zell. I
That's
never
a
even
great
thought
point.
about
right?
that.
If you're just chilling, you're just scrolling Instagram on your phone, waiting for your Uber.
Go back to that guy. Go
you're
back.
10
Let's pull up that video. I need to watch that guy's body language again. There's no fucking way.
You see him run when it blows up. That's it. He doesn't change.
There's no fucking way. That guy's been standing there for longer than 17 seconds. He's waiting for something. He's waiting for a cab or an Uber. There's no way he's reacting to a gunshot of a 50 cal. Like, you would fucking hear that. That's wow. That brain of yours. All that hair you had prior to shaving your head was obviously
just getting in the way.
Getting in the way.
Everything up.
Because now you're receiving you're receiving all the wavelengths.
Yeah, I think it was this one. Welcome here.
Yeah, look at that guy.
So this guy's so it's 12 seconds, right?
So a 50 caliber has already gone off, according to them. He's just vaped. It looked like he just vaped.
He's just chilling. He's looking at the car. He's just looking at it, looking out. Boom, and then he gets knocked and he runs away.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would shit all over myself,
dude. When I'm just chilling at home on the deck and you hear like some type of like a car backfire or a lawnmower backfire, I'm like, oh shit,
you jump.
Yeah. You look shocked. You don't pull. You don't sit there and like chilling, pulling a fucking drag your vape or cigarette.
Because that's a pistol with it has like no like suppressor or like compensator like direct.
Not that we know of.
It's just pure
unless it got incinerated.
Explosion. No, but no. I guess yeah.
Would they even make a silencer for a fucking Desert Eagle though? It seems kind of.
I fucking doubt it.
Seems counterintuitive. Yeah.
Well,
I want the biggest gun I could possibly get.
There's nothing saying that. I don't think you could make a silencer really for any gun, right?
Yeah.
The technology is kind of the same. You just have. Do they make them? I don't know. We could silencers for.
I'm sure there is.
Eagle.
50 cal.
Suppressed 50 cal Desert Eagle. Yeah, they can make one. It's a huge suppressor. It's big. It's twice as longer than the gun. So anyway, so the guy standing there doesn't flinch. No matter how the windows are rolled up, it wouldn't matter. You would hear the gun.
Yeah, you would be alerted. You would have one of those fucking Metal Gear Solid fucking doodaloo. Fucking looking up what's going on over here.
Yeah, so that's the DNA stuff. That's super weird. The fact that the guy doesn't flinch because he's only there for 17 seconds. Like,
and we haven't even got into the fucking weirdest part.
We haven't got into the meat yet. We're going to get into a little bit more, but we're going to take a short beer break. We're going to be right back. All right. Let's get crazy.
We're back. Whoa. Yeah. All right. So, like, if you had any other questions, and fucking, shit's starting to get weird. People on X are going crazy. People on social media are starting to go crazy, being like, this isn't adding up. Shit's kind of weird. All of a sudden, Sean Ryan, and if you don't know Sean Ryan, he's an ex-Navy SEAL. He has the Sean Ryan Show, super big podcast.
He's been on Rogan, right?
He's been on Rogan, I'm sure. He interviews. Like Rogan, I listened to some of his episodes when
they're great. I just listened to one on the World Bank. It was crazy.
Yeah, when the topic interests me, I listen to his show. Yeah. It's good. He's a good host. He has
also I listened to it, and you also makes me feel like a massive pussy, which isn't hard. But you listen to these guys' stories, and you're like, "Oh my god,
yeah,
I am a puss."
Oh, dude, no, that's not true. Because I listen to one episode, I re-listened to the episode that we're talking about today. That came out, and what was it? With Sam Shoemate, and then I listened to the one after, and this guy was crying about his sexual fucking. He was like, "Hey, I have sexual trauma, and I'm addicted to porn." And then he was talking about what happened to him when he was young, and I was like, in my head, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be heartbreaking. He's like, I was like 9 or 10, and I went over to a friend's house, and they had older brothers, and they were watching porn, and we saw it, and I remember it, and I'm like, yeah, so do I. I remember that shit too. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you crying?
Sounds awesome.
He's crying. I was like,
Sounds like a
those
great
guys were
Saturday
cool.
night.
They're probably
Yeah.
like, he's probably a fucking Bible thumper though, right? Like I'm pretty sure Sean Ryan's a pretty big Christian dude, and I think a lot of those.
I was like, get over yourself, dude. I was like, you're fine. You're an adult.
Buddy, I used to fucking bring Playboys to school and sell them.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
I remember.
I found a big box of them at the dump.
I legit remember outside of Rose Valley Elementary School when I was in middle school.
Oh, yeah, that's where my
we
kid
were
goes.
walking. We were walking to the bus stop when I was in fucking grade 7, and there was 3 huge fucking garbage bags full of pornos.
Amazing.
Full of them. And then there was like 10 of us that were there when we found them, and we're like, holy fuck.
Jackpot.
So we went to school,
Jackpot.
but the word spread. So our
everyone
bus going back to Rose Valley, going back home, was fucking packed with every kind of crew, like waiting to be like, oh my God, we're going to rush. And it was everyone sprinted. They were like pushing each other over. Bags got ripped open, like snatching magazines
just fucking
and shit.
peeling pages apart.
Yeah, peeling pages apart. Like, dude, it was pandemonium. And I got my I got my hands on my first Penthouse.
Nice.
That's the only thing I could grab. And like the cover was ripped. I couldn't tell you what number it was.
Penthouse was fucking.
And I was just like, oh.
It's ahead of its
I remember
time.
there was like girls in the snow. I was like grade 7. I was like 13. I was like, I don't sit there and be like, me, I'm addicted to porn now because of that.
Yeah.
I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. I was
think
like, you're probably compensating for all the people you killed overseas.
This is the longest tangent about the guy.
with the fucking military.
About Pino.
About
I mean,
Pino.
as a kid, I would have been fucking stoked,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
But
Okay,
so
back to-
this
Sure
back to-
beats watching
get back
Channel
to the show.
99 and
Yeah.
trying to unscramble the
So-
pictures.
Get back to Sean Ryan's show.
Back to Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan starts to release some tweets, and he's like, hey, listen, the episode I'm about to drop,
Big
we're
news.
going to talk about the Cybertruck bomber. It's legit real shit. I'm actually a little concerned based on the messages that I've received from intelligence agencies to redact names, yada, yada, yada. Me and my family are going somewhere secluded. My account will be run from management, and if you need to reach out to me, you can contact them. We're kind of going off grid for a little bit just because things are a little too hot. And everyone's losing their fucking mind. They're like, what? This fucking episode drops with Sam Shoemate. And it turns out that Matt Livesberger
Yeah. Livesberg.
had been like emailing tons of different people, like what they're saying. And I hate the term manifesto because in my mind, manifesto is like, I'm doing this because of this.
Which this email is none of that.
None of that.
More like a whistleblower email.
Well, actually,
Yes.
it definitely is a whistleblower, but they try to make it a manifesto because of obviously the truck bomb, right? But there is literally no connection between the fucking email and that what happened.
No.
There's no
Doesn't really
mention of
say
it.
it.
There's
Well-
nothing.
There's a loose mention of like, so he starts to email. He starts to email this, and I'm only saying the name Sam Shoemate because Sam Shoemate's the only one that took it serious. It sounds like this guy emailed. Sean Ryan show went through the email, found an email from this guy, and he was saying on his show that like if some other big shows went through their emails, they would probably find emails from this guy too, including Fox News and stuff.
So
that
this
they
guy
would
had
find.
emailed anyone he thought could help him or would listen.
He was
And
reaching out
most
to
people went
anyone with a
to
large platform.
large platform, and like either went to junk mail or they ignored it. And even Sam Shoemate even he didn't take it serious until after the event, right?
Yeah. After the bomb went off, he was like, holy shit, that's the same guy.
After the event and on the episode on Sean Ryan's show, he like plays like a phone like recording of him like saying like, oh my, like pretty much freaking out that this guy has in the media has died, and he reached out to him, and then this is where it all started. Then he starts reaching out to he reaches out to Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan brings him on. They do an interview where he reads the email, which I screenshotted, and so if you want to hear the original, you can go listen to that podcast. But we should probably read it because this is where it gets insane.
Fucking crazy,
right? So this is from the Green Beret. This is from what was his name?
Matthew Livelsberg.
Fucking mind blank. So Matthew emails and he reads it, and it all comes to light after the event. But this is what it says. In case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until Jan 1 and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or under hostile influence or control. My first car was a 06 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. Is that the best? It's kind of like a weird verification to me, but it doesn't matter. That's what it says.
That's a good one because then you have to contact his family. What did he drive?
What was his first car? Or
yeah,
a picture
and
of him,
we're going to get into that a little bit later, but it wasn't his first vehicle. He never owned a 2006 black fucking Ford Mustang V6. Yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
What we have been seeing with drones in quotation marks is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by mostly recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the U.S. Only we, meaning the U.S. and China, have this capability. Our OPCEN location for this activity in the box is below. I'm not sure what that means, OPCEN. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. And as of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they use the balloon for, there's a typo, SIGINT and ISR. It must be abbreviations for something. Which are also part of the integrated comm system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. So those are the balloons that they finally blew out of the sky like a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned AC. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. Unlimited payload capacity. So when I read this and it says anti-gravitic, I'm like, so because of anti-gravity, you can just pick up anything?
I guess.
Or what, like, maybe it's an exaggeration, but maybe it can, because most drones can carry like 10% of their weight. So maybe it just can carry like 1,000 pounds or something.
I didn't even think about that in that sense until you told me that pre-show, because I was thinking that unlimited payload meant that they were so fast and they were so cheap to make and they could make so many that you could just basically send an unlimited amount of fucking bombs anywhere. But if you're saying that it's,
I never thought of it that way.
If you're saying unlimited payload in the sense that like, yeah, so maybe it's like as big as you can take as big as a payload as an anti-gravitical field that you can make to in case
it just seems
something
weird. I mean, if this is beyond next generation, like future, like sci-fi tech, there's no way it's cheap. You know, if you have them, you don't just want to blow them up kamikaze style, I would imagine. Or maybe it is. Maybe the way they build them, they figured out a new way to build that's just like 10 cents on the dollar, but all speculation. USG needs to give the history of this. How are we employing it and weaponizing it? How China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is posed to attack anywhere on the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico. But won't because they know I am armed and have a massive VBID. So that's like a vehicle-based
bomb.
It's a vehicle-bound improvised explosive device.
And listen to what he says there. They won't, he's worried that a 3-letter agency won't move on him because he, who is an explosive expert, has what he is self-describing as a massive vehicle-bound improvised explosive device.
So not fireworks and gasoline?
A massive.
Well, you wouldn't
VBID.
think.
No.
You wouldn't think. Like
No.
you would think that because again, if they moved on him, think of FBI and he blew that up, everyone's fine. You know what I mean? That what we watched explode in that definition of what happened doesn't really line up to me.
Yeah, it's weird. So he says, I have a massive VBID. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and I have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me.
Which also kind of goes with he's reaching out to people he hasn't really talked to that often, talking to his ex-girlfriend, all that. Like he's opening communication with a bunch of different people, right?
Mm-hmm. So he's making himself known. He's being very, very visible. Then he goes on to say, I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimraz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas. I'm not sure. These are a lot of military terms that I would not know.
Civca, civilian casualties, maybe?
Oh, that makes sense. That killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, civilian casualties, yeah.
U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft and CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA and agent, and then it's redacted.
So that's where these three later agencies have reached out to both Sean Ryan and
you better not
Sam
put that
Schmidt.
name out there.
And they're like, these are active members. You cannot put their names out.
Well, one of the guys directly contacted fucking Sean Ryan.
Yeah. And said, you cannot. And the craziest thing, the reason why Sean Ryan was so spooked is because they were contacting him. They're like, one, these people shouldn't know that I've just recorded this episode because it hasn't released.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're listening.
And
they know.
So they're getting he's getting contacted being like, we know what you're about to talk about. You know about your release. You cannot say these things.
That's fucked.
Right? It's very strange. Very fucking weird.
So it goes on to say, so the cover up with US FORA or USFORA and agent redacted of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with Jen Miller's IO staff on this, as well as response to Bala. Wait, I got to switch to my next photo. My next screenshot here. I worked with Jen Miller's IO staff on this, as well as the response to Bala Murgab. I'm not sure who that is. AOB-S commander at the time, redacted, can validate this. So 2 names redacted. You need to elevate this to the media so we can avoid a world war, because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Fuck.
Scary.
For vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 180Z out of 1-10. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP and USAP access. What's the USAP? I don't know what that one meant. Must be some type of unidentified submerged.
United States Antarctic Program.
USAP?
That's what it says
I don't know.
when I type that in.
Maybe. Oh, Antarctica?
There you
UFOs? Anti-gravity? So that was the email. That's what really set this off, because
Zell, Can you post your pictures of the things on the screen really quick? Is that possible?
Like share the screen?
Yeah, like just post it up there so people on the live stream can see.
I can.
If you can't, no big deal. But
No, I can. I was just the wrong one.
because once you post them, I'm going to point out a few things that are fucking super bizarre.
Okay, let's do that right now. Let's share. I'll share my other screen. Here, let's move it over. Easier. Move this over to here. Okay, let's share this now. Bum, 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 bum. Window. Oh, that's why. Screenshot. There it is. Found it. All right. Do we see it?
Yeah. So one of the really weird things is, so normally when you're typing an email yourself to send out, if you make spelling errors, you get red squiggly lines underneath those spelling errors.
Yeah,
but when
there's a
you
couple.
receive an email, there is no indication of spelling errors.
Really?
Yeah. That doesn't make fucking sense.
So if I open my email and someone made a mistake, it wouldn't show squiggles?
No. You only get those when you're typing the fucking email.
So, yeah, but if you look at the top of the email on that Zell's showing, it says forwarded message. So someone's sent this, someone's taken the original and went to forward it, right? So there's lines above that have been cropped out.
Yeah, the 2 has been redacted.
Yeah, but the email itself shouldn't have those spelling errors underlined. Like, that's weird.
No, but what I'm
Plus
saying
you
is,
see, like,
Unless
in
someone
cursive.
copied and pasted.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no.
unless somebody copied and pasted.
no.
it, potentially.
If you hit forward, so say if this guy sent
so
this
you
to
can
me,
edit it?
so if he sent it to me and I hit forward or reply all or reply, I can edit what you wrote
Oh, interesting.
in the previous email, and so it'll pop up. So I can see if you look at the top of this message, it says forwarded message. So what that means is that whoever received this message has already forwarded it to someone else, which is why we're seeing
that makes sense.
that's why we're seeing the spelling errors.
Because I was like, that's fucking bizarre. I've
It
never
is-
seen that.
Yeah, that is weird.
It is a little weird.
But the weird thing that I didn't know about is, so his first vehicle was not a 2006 Ford Mustang?
Yeah, so people went in to go vet the manifesto and went through his vehicle history, and at no point in time did he own an 06 Ford Mustang. He did have a Ford Mustang, but it wasn't a 2006.
What year
What
was
was it?
I think it was like it was the 90s.
Here's my question though. And so
And then
let
they
me
looked
be
into his parents as well, and his parents
they
had
look-
never owned a 1996.
I was
Ford
going to say,
Mustang either.
that was going to be my say, because I was going to say, I knew a lot of people whose
Yeah.
parents paid for the vehicles and paid for the insurance.
Yeah, no, they checked his parents too, and no.
Well, I mean, so he owned a 90s black Ford Mustang?
I don't know if it was black, but there was no 2006 Ford Mustang on his vehicle.
So
And if
he either maybe typoed that and a 96 Ford Mustang?
Maybe. Oh, I can find
So
it.
he did own a Ford Mustang, but it just wasn't the exact one. He said that this is for assurance that you know.
Yeah, but that's fucking like I guarantee you, both you guys and everyone listening to this can tell you exactly the make and model of your first vehicle.
It's a Dodge 82 Power Ram.
1994 fucking Chevy Cavalier. The Cavalier.
1989 Oldsmobile Omega.
Oh, the Omega. Yeah, it's a beauty.
Yeah, that was a fucking good one.
Fucking
Right, like
beast.
you're not going to make that mistake.
No, so that's a weird one to me.
Well, I might make that mistake if I was just in a quick conversation. I was like, hey, man, what was your first car? And I'm like, oh, it was a 92 Power Ram. But no, it was an 82 Power Ram. But if I was to type it out and think about it, there's no way.
So,
Yeah, so
the
that's
other
strange.
weird thing that happened is after
He had owned a 1998 Ford Mustang base.
Black?
It doesn't say. It says color unavailable on it.
So one of the other weird things is that so he January 1st at 8:47 in the morning he passes away. He dies. He has all his everything with him. Later that day, he uses the signal to send
Signal, yeah.
messages. And his signal safety number changes, which means that he logs in and views messages after he's deceased.
Oh, it's
What do you mean a signal number changes?
So I guess
I don't-
how
I've never
Signal
used Signal.
works
I
is
don't
they
know
have
how it
like
works.
it's each single one-to-one chat has a unique safety number that allows you to verify the security of your messages and calls with that specific contact. Verification of safety number is a good security practice for sensitive communications. And he logs in and changes his.
What time does it say?
After his death.
After the bomb blew up.
After the bomb blows up. Right? And
So
his
either
phone
he's
is with
still
him.
alive, or they're hacking onto his phone.
How do they know? I guess that's a question though. Like, how do they know that he changed his number?
It popped up on his Signal account.
So the other people, so Sam
Shoemate saw it.
Sam
yes.
Shoemate had been like corresponding with him on Signal as well, and he could see that the Signal safety number had been changed and been updated because this person had obviously like logged in and opened the app afterwards. So he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure that he's like, well, maybe someone or some agency was checking after the fact, right? Because they knew it was him and they were checking. But like, if you read that email,
What, they had his phone?
Or they just logged into his Signal account. I don't know how. I've never used
Signal.
Signal.
Supposed to be extreme, like the most.
Yeah,
secure?
but if we're talking,
yeah.
these 3-letter agencies could hack that shit. No time.
It's
no
true.
problem.
And we'll
We
do
have anti-gravitic technology. So.
We will do a case file on it because it is insane. The Project Pegasus,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
where if they have your phone number, they get everything. Doesn't matter what kind of security or encryption, they get everything.
Crazy.
Now, the thing that's interesting for me is like, again, you have him saying in this email that he's spamming on December 31st, and he's telling Sam, he's like, hey, listen, I have to, I got to get on this. I have something planned for January 1st, and I have basically like, you can't release this. You can't release this information until after January 1st. It's because he says he's being monitored. He's worried about being monitored. He's worried about being picked up. He's trying to, disappear, it sounds like, by this email. And then, boom, January 1st, which he says is the day you can release this information, this car bomb goes off. They attribute it to him. They have everything there. The body's destroyed. And even like Sean Ryan and Sam both say, they're like, we don't think it's him. We don't think it's him in this car. And then you start to see interviews come out of like people who knew this guy and worked with this guy. They're like, there's not a fucking chance this guy would have blown himself up in that way. Like if he was going to blow himself up.
Ex-girlfriends kind of corroborate that too. Like didn't seem mentally unstable. The one thing that the one girlfriend that apparently they met in spy school was what she described. But she said he had a brain injury in 2019 while he was deployed. And he kind of started acting a little bit differently after that brain injury. But again, I don't know how.
Well, yeah, I mean,
legit that is.
Especially in the military, the PTSD is no joke. Isn't it? Like, I think I read like 7 or 9% of service members who deploy, like go for a mission somewhere, develop that, which is insane. That's a huge number. Think of how like the American military is something crazy. Like 2 million people are either actively or inactively involved in the military at any one time.
It's crazy.
Maybe
So
it's
now-
bigger than that.
This crosses into our realm because this guy starts to talk about anti-gravitic crafts, and we've had that like New Jersey drone flap where everyone was concerned and doesn't know, and now you have this guy being like, yeah, it's fucking China. They're launching these anti-gravitic crafts, and they've recently come upon this technology, but prior to that, it's always been us.
Well, it's interesting too.
yeah.
It's like we've heard multiple accounts of them coming from the water
Yeah.
too, right? And now this guy's confirming like they have these
The ability to launch from the ocean.
yeah, they are launching them from the ocean, like that Iranian mothership, like right, like some of these
Except
things.
it's
might be
not.
real.
It's China.
If China's doing it, Iran's doing it too.
No, but the Iranian mothership that they know about is launching conventional drones off like a carrier, not
Yeah.
from the water. That they know, that's been told at least. So if these things are like anti-gravitic and they have like some different propulsion which doesn't need combustion, like a jet engine, and I guess you could launch a quad, like a rotary drone from the water in a way, because the rotaries could be like a propeller, it could get to the surface, then it could float, and then it could take off. I guess you could do that. But what they're saying here is, yeah, it's anti-gravitic. It's not propulsion or rotors, anything that we know about. It just kind of like moves through through the air without any propulsion. It just
maybe
floats.
that's what the Tic Tac was.
Yeah, kind of.
Right, because we've said in that video, it looks like a drone the way it fucking
Stops and turns
and stuff and moves, and it's like that would make sense.
Well,
like
that's
if
the
that
gimbal.
was
That's the gimbal. The Tic
the
Tac.
gimbal,
is
the gimbal,
The
yeah.
gimbal.
But yeah, those videos that those 3 they released. I mean, you hear all these guys who go on, like Luis Elizondo and all these dudes. It's like, oh, those are 3 videos, but they have hundreds of those videos that are not released. I mean, so it's pretty crazy that the thing is, even like Sam, what's his name? Sam Shoemate. Like he even says like he has no way to corroborate if this is actually him. Like there's no way to like really know if this email came from like kind of like
from
a limbo
him.
thing.
I mean, what a coincidence. What a coincidence that someone's pretending to be this guy. You know what I mean? And then
how deep does a
blows
cover up go?
Well, yeah. I mean, the one thing that kind of got my mind thinking, because you look at both Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate, and they're both either active or former military intelligence assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you think about it, it's like, what is the fucking bulk of that email? Like the big thing for me was, it's like, yeah, the United States has committed war crimes. We know this. They've done this. They continue to do it.
Yeah.
They've always done it. It is what it
big
is.
Surprise
Shocker,
there.
right?
What? I was like, what? The United States is committing war crimes and killing civilians overseas? What?
So, for me, the big thing is the fact that this guy is basically saying, mentioning the technology and saying like this, we're on the verge of World War III here. And then it makes me wonder, it's like, is this potentially a ploy for the military industrial complex to fucking justify ramping stuff up for World War III? Because you got to think psyop wise, they're getting smart. People are not watching mainstream media anymore. It's been discredited. People don't buy what they're saying. But where are everybody getting their information from? They're getting their information from fucking podcasts and from X
Twitter
nowadays.
Yeah, Twitter.
Right? So you go with these 2 guys that have these massive platforms and release this, and now you get those fucking wheels turning, and everybody's saying, "Well, fuck, if this is real, then we're gonna war with China is inevitable."
If the war involves this drone technology that can fly and with unlimited payload,
terrifying.
I mean, so they would have. Okay, all right. So in your theory, then this is an inside job done by everything that we're looking at. The email, everything is concocted, other than they probably knew where he was going and they were tracking him. Do they kill him before they get him to Trump Tower?
Maybe this guy is it's MK Ultra 2.0. They've been controlling this guy the entire time.
Right. Okay. So then they're sending these emails. They get him to where they want him to be, and then they blow him up. And then they just say he shot himself in the head. They don't even have to, like, they've been tracking, because if they're tracking everything, they know what you're doing. They're like, oh, perfect. He bought a gun. Perfect. He's got a gun there. Perfect. This is going to be fucking awesome. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is there, and here, let's go even deeper here. I mean, there's fucking conspiracies now out there that like Elon Musk is not well. Like with how much he's like trying to interfere in fucking different political
spectrums. Dude, last thing we need is this dude to turn into a supervillain.
He's in Europe now.
He's in Europe now trying to sway stuff. Dude, he might be the most powerful person in the world right now. And it's like, I do not get lost in the fact that is one of his vehicles. So if someone is like, hey, we need you to fucking drive this vehicle to there, right?
Yeah, but no, like I agree with you there 100%. But like we know that people you can hack into people's cars and control them remotely either way.
Yep.
Like that's been proven.
No matter what software, say, is installed in a Tesla.
Yeah, you can hack it and control it.
There's no way you couldn't get bypass that. If you knew, like someone who really knew what they were doing, there's no way they couldn't do that.
So the guy's dead this entire time. They fucking they control the vehicle, park him up there, right? The gun's sitting between his legs there just for good measure.
Well, we say if there is a gun and there's if there's a gunshot wound, it has to be obvious, right? I mean, especially with that size of bullet. So, and the fact that the guy standing there, no one registers that a 50 cal has gone off in the car right beside him. And then it blows up, and then there's a body in there, it has a gunshot wound, it's burned. There's this magically a paper passport with a plastic coating on the outside to keep it safe.
Even though
intact.
Desert Eagle's partly incinerated.
I mean, gunmetal is super dense metal. It has to be to take that like multiple bullets. That's melted, but the passport's okay. His DNA doesn't match his son.
It's bizarre.
So, it's fucking bizarre.
Dude, okay, here's an interesting one. Over Christmas into New Year's, one of the fucking things that was kind of popping off on X and mainstream media was Donald Trump's position on the H-1B visas, which are bringing skilled workers immigrating into the United States. And basically, people were like, Trump was like, we're shutting that down. We're going America first, right? And that was one of his platforms. And then all of a sudden, Elon Musk is like, no, fuck that. I was on an H-1B visa. We need these skilled workers. And he's like, if you're against that, you can take a big step back. Go fuck yourself in the face. He started writing all these fucking crazy messages between Christmas and New Year's about the H-1B visas. Basically, he was arguing with people on X being like, go fuck yourself. He's like,
who said this?
I will fight Elon Musk.
Really?
Right? And then January 1st, a fucking Cybertruck rolls up to Trump Tower and explodes.
You're so
right?
fucked.
And then
this guy's turned into a super villain right in front of us.
You have all these theories of being like, you have all these
fucked.
theories about like, this guy is like, he is the fucking puppet master right now. And it's like, you have a president who's basically said, we're shutting down these visas. And then you have his biggest political supporter, who is an oligarch. That's what
he's worth something crazy on like $400 billion.
And he goes on and he's like, he's saying like, if you're against this, go take a step back and fuck yourself in the face. Right.
He said he tweeted that to Trump.
No, he tweeted that to people who were against it. He didn't necessarily say Trump. But what I'm saying is then this January 1st, a Cybertruck rolls up to Trump Tower and explodes. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm making the loose connection of being like, this guy, you know, like, who is in control anymore? I don't know. Maybe that's what some of the theories I've read was.
Some of the theories I've read was non-lethal.
Yes. And so some of the theories that I've read was like, and it's like, dude, the craziest thing is FBI, everyone's been like, no one's been more helpful than Elon Musk and Tesla in this investigation.
Sounds like someone's invested.
Right? Right? Exactly. I was like, and some of the weird stuff I was been reading is that like Elon was pissed that Trump had been saying that they were going to shut down this visa system. And that's how like a lot of these big corporations stuff make money, because they bring in cheap foreign labor. And he's saying like, no. And Trump took a hard stance. Then he took a hard stance of blowing a Cybertruck up in front of the Trump Tower.
That fucking picture is so iconic.
Are you saying Elon Musk owns some couple 3-letter agencies and has the capability to use those agents to do his bidding?
I'm saying I don't think we even fathom right now how much of a reach Elon Musk has.
I would agree with you there. I don't even know if he would need to use the 3-letter agencies. Think about the private resources this guy has.
He probably has his own fucking epic security
100%.
team that can do anything.
100%.
His own security team. It's like fucking
I bet he has a
BlackRock.
fucking 100%.
Or
dude.
Blackwater.
It's insane.
Blackwater.
It's insane.
Yeah, Blackwater.
But that's one of the things I've been reading is like people were like, this was a message from Elon to Trump. Right?
Fuck.
And I was like, oh man, this fuck crazy. But like the anti-gravitic stuff, I mean, like, is the email and stuff then is that all fake? Is that all part of a psyop? Right? Like, why explain the drones?
Because
right?
I mean, the mainstream explanation for the explosion and the lack of severity, like loss of life, like to contain it, he was upset about a bunch of stuff, right? Like he was that was what they say. They found memos on his phone or something.
Well, he kind of had more notes, manifestos on his phone saying, hey, we need to storm the Capitol. Every active service member needs to fucking, rise up. And
are we sure that wasn't from 2020? Because this guy was a huge Trumper.
Yeah, potentially. Hey, it could be. You saying he's the one that started Jan 6?
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
I mean, like the reason they say he did this from in the mainstream news that I like scanned through today, it doesn't say anything about his son. Most of it said like, oh, it was because he was like a distraught serviceman, and it was meant to make a statement about the state of the country. Really, the country's going the wrong way. That's really what it said on a lot of these articles. I was like, that doesn't seem like, I don't know, it just didn't seem right. The whole thing seems.
But the
fishy.
build up and the messages and stuff that he's sending to everyone to me, that doesn't add up. Like it adds up with it lines up with the email where he's like, I'm keeping a high profile right now because I know I'm being tracked.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to get to Mexico. They're not going to let me get there. Right. So I'm not even 100% saying that it's not his body. I'm saying it's possibly not his body that's in the Cybertruck. Right. 50, but then it's just 50-50. But what I'm saying is this guy's saying that he's being followed. He has a plan. He's trying to get out of here. And then January 1st, because like when you rewatch that video, knowing that like this guy's a bomb expert, all his colleagues are saying that he could level this building, and then you watch that video and you start seeing all the fireworks go up, you're like, it looks like a show. Well,
and like you said, like he's keeping a high profile and he wants to be publicly seen. So like this guy's a fucking genius. He goes and finds one of the most obnoxious vehicles he can. Right, so it's going to be easy to track. All those charging stations have fucking cameras on them.
The Cybertruck has cameras,
right? Cybertruck's so he's like this. He's a fucking smart guy. Like he literally drew a roadmap everywhere he went.
Massive vehicle-bound improvised explosive device. Massive.
Yeah.
And then it's fireworks.
Fireworks and some gasoline.
Unless they took him out, replaced the actual V-bed, put fucking fireworks in there, killed him, then parked in front of Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And blew it.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
How did the FBI know to contact Sean Ryan and Sam prior?
Because they're assets.
To the episodes.
They're assets.
Relights.
They're assets.
Because they know,
right?
I mean, if they're following this guy's every move, they're following every after move from there. Like they know what's happening. There's no way they don't.
The interesting thing is because I'm like, if you're saying they're assets and they're in it, it's like, then why is Sean Ryan having like Sarah Adams on, who's predicting these terrorist attacks?
Well,
right? You know what I mean?
Basically saying that we're funding, or the American government's funding the Taliban.
Yeah.
They pretty much are.
But he's also had he's got incumbent, the new FBI director coming on, Kash Patel. He's had him on a few times. Like I don't know. Or maybe he's just being manipulated.
Maybe he's like a useful idiot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not saying he's an idiot. That's just
no. That's just Well, listen.
Hey, if someone sent us an email like that, we'd be in the same boat. Like, oh fuck, we're on.
Listen, we scrubbed our email. Trust me, we looked through junk.
Nothing in there.
Nothing. He didn't say it. He didn't. He just hate mail. One star reviews. A lot of Patreons.
Couple
canceled subscriptions.
Asking for some money.
Yeah. Scan Bell Mobility offering us some sweet deals, and that was about it.
Yeah. Didn't quite make the cut.
Maybe
next time. Yeah, I mean it's a crazy story, and it's only been 8 days.
Yeah.
So what comes out over the next month or two?
It's gonna disappear. It's gonna be
100%, dude.
Gone.
It's out, dude. We're just waiting for the next story to take over. This will be never talked about again all year.
Kind of like the Trump assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
It's insane. Dude, it's insane.
Someone tried to kill him, maybe.
We still know nothing about that guy.
No, nothing.
He had no cutlery. That's weird.
He was in a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah,
that's
no big deal.
Weird.
That's a whole nother case file that we should probably fucking.
I'm not even convinced that it wasn't all fucking set up by
Trump.
Who knows? I don't know.
Could be either way. Yeah, there's lots of theories on that one too.
I mean, listen, I saw that and I was like, can I vote for this guy from Canada? Can I? Like, he's bulletproof.
You and half the rest of the country, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, so in this, if the story is true and he killed himself, it's tragedy, and that's terrible. But just the fact that it's so wide open right now with all these theories and the email and all this stuff, like you cannot. You have to talk about it. I think it just seems too crazy not to. But maybe we're just joining the useful idiot team and we're all being conned on some fucking.
Well,
psyop.
listen. So is Zuckerberg has been like, yo, we're not censoring shit anymore, so we're back, baby. Now we just got you. We need YouTube on board. We need YouTube on board.
It's true. The greatest era of podcasting was 2015 to about 2020. And now we're back. 2025 to 2030 is going to be even better.
Yeah. Look it up. You can watch the interview with those. It's firsthand reports of the Sean Ryan show with Sam. I want to say Sitwell every time, but that's not his name. Shoemate.
Yeah, go check it out. It's a cool interview. And we'll pay attention. Maybe more stuff come up. Maybe we can get back on doing a couple of. Maybe we'll bring him on. Think we reach out. Maybe we'll probably be stuck in his junk mail too, though.
100%.
Oh yeah. 100%. You know what's crazy though? I mean, we could almost be like, listen, we got connections to Navy SEALs on this show.
Dan's dad?
Dan's dad. Yeah. Dan's dad is a Navy SEAL.
Decorated Navy SEAL. Right? Bud work.
Yeah, but we can't even get his kid to come on to his own show. How are we going to get him to come on? For fuck's sake?
Bud would come on. He doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit. He's been there.
So. I mean, we could ask. We'd be like, hey, man, can your dad ask? Is this legit? Does he have any connections? Ask your dad.
Or anybody listening. You got any connections? Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Let us know.
You start asking. Start asking these questions. Let us know. Because we know nothing. But we'll say whatever you say to us.
Let us know. And then head over to our website, alientheorist.com. Hit that support tab like these Fuse Beauties did this week.
Let's go.
Hey, we got an OGP. Meme Cat is back.
Let's go, Meme Cat. Welcome back.
I saw that. I saw she was like, you know what? I'm fucking supporting these guys.
She's back.
Welcome back.
Dan Conigan and Wade Wilson supporting the show in the early.
Deadpool.
Wade Wilson? Yeah.
Didn't Pod Daddy told me he signed up for the new top tier. Because he was like, I need you to make this. And I was like, all right, well, you're sponsored the show, so I'll fucking make whatever you want.
What are you making?
Yes, Pod Daddy. $100 a month tier.
Oh, shit.
Pod Daddy has not signed up in the last... Unless he just signed up or something.
Well, whatever Pod Daddy says.
You're dead to us now.
Pod Daddy's still the number one supporter of all time, so it's not what he does now. He's done his due diligence.
He's done enough.
He's floated the show for another 6 months, this guy.
Yeah. So if you don't get on, we only got 6 months. But there's tons of stuff. Hey, listen, we got grinds coming out. We got UFO cowboy reviewers. We're doing mountain monsters now. Me and Dan. We got tons of stuff coming out. Check it out.
Boom.
And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
Now Taxes is 100% free when you file in the TurboTax app if you didn't file with us last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just do your own taxes in the app by 2/18.
What if I have lots of forms?
All good, all 100% free.
What if I had 3 jobs?
Still 100% free.
What if I once saw Bigfoot?
That has nothing to do with taxes, so still 100% free.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now this is Taxes. See if you qualify in the TurboTax app. Excludes TurboTax Live, must start and file in app by 2/18.